So pretty much guys, I'm very heavy user of my smartphone. So you may be using your smartphones in lot of ways, maybe heavy or maybe medium or maybe very small, but whatever guys it is there, you might be expecting longer battery life, but your phone may or may not be giving you as expected battery life. So guys, in this video we are going to see 20 plus so on battery saving tips that I am using to get most of my smartphones. You may or may not get the same settings that I'm going to tell you, because obviously I cannot tell you guys settings for all the phones, but you just keep look around the same place. You might find some similar activity, because OEM just used to rename them and they might have been removed too for some good reasons too. So if it is not there, you can just skip them. If it is there, you guys can just go and change it straight away. So guys, let's get started and see what are those 20 plus so on tips. Go to the Play Store setting and first find an entry where you can see the auto updates application. So you should just disable them, and as a keep on regular practice, just try to keep your check for alternate days to get the frequent update. Under the same Play Store setting, go to the notification and just try to disable most of them, the updates, auto updates, pre-registration. Make sure everything is disabled here. Assuming you are using Google Chrome as a default browser, go to the setting and find an entry called Data Saver and make sure this is turned on. If you are not using any such features like Google Assistant or Google on your phone, then you should be going to the settings and try to disable them as much as possible. So look for entry inside the phone and just try to disable Google Assistant and your screen context from here. Under the settings, Google, find an entry called as search. Then here look for the voice. In case you're not using OK Google Addiction or OK Google Now feature, make sure this all entries are disabled. Under the same Google setting, you can also go inside the notification. In case you're not using Google Now feature or Google Now Swipe feature, you can disable the most of the feeds and disable the doodles also. If you do not want to disable complete feeds, just go inside your feed and look for the entry which you don't want. For example, stock, places, bills, you can disable one by one. Now go inside the settings, Wi-Fi, then look for the secure icon or something similar and try to find an entry and try to make sure disable scanning, always disable, and make sure everything is disabled here. And if you're using Wi-Fi a lot whole day, then you should keep this thing on, or otherwise you can just make it to plug-in or never. Now go inside the settings, location. In case you're using location services a lot and don't want to keep it turned off, make them at least to the battery saving mode. Under the location, just look for an option called scanning and make sure Wi-Fi scanning and Bluetooth scanning is disabled. And just make sure some other background services like NFC, Bluetooth are turned off. By accidentally, even if you've turned them on, they are not going to turn off automatically. So these things are also very important. Just make sure these things are turned off. If your phone supports gestures features, then go inside that and try to disable as much gestures as you don't want them, because these things are just keep on running internal on the background. So the more you disable, the more battery life you will get. Enable the developer option by clicking on the build number 7 times. Now go inside that. There are some manufacturers who have implemented the DOS mode, which is actually the advanced version of the Android Marshmallow DOS. So if you find such entry, try to enable that. Look for an entry called as a force GPU rendering, try to enable it. Now look for another entry called as a Windows animation scale and try to make it to 0.5x. If there is an entry called app Wi-Fi multi-broadcasting filter, try to enable it. Go inside the settings, backup and reset. In case you're using only single phone, you're not switching phone a lot, so you don't have to bother about restoring everything properly. So just make sure disable this backup data. This will overall reduce the Android battery system drain. Look for some advanced section on your phone. If your manufacturer support recent app management, try to use only normal way, not the deep clear. Now go to the settings, accounts and Google. Try to find out wisely which of the things you are not using. You can just disable them straight away. In case you're using multiple email accounts and these are not your primary account, so you should be disabling everything. Under the settings, go to the app sections and try to find an entry called as app preferences, app permissions, something like that. So you should be going there and try to find out which other phones are accessing your locations. If you don't want them, you can simply disable them, because each time they are running on the backgrounds, it's always very recommended. You should just disable the location accessing service which you think is not needed for that particular application. And try to keep your home screen as simple as possible. Do not try to integrate a lot of features. Do not try to create multiple pages. A single page is enough if you just cannot live without a single widget or maybe more than one. So just try to keep it simple as much as possible. Switch to a launcher which you think can be more customizable. A good example is the Nova launcher and the actual launcher. Try to use the benefit of the phones like the AMOLED display. Tends to give a lot of battery in case you're using a lot of black stuff. So a good example is the app drawer, which you can make completely black. If your manufacturer supports the feature where you can use the system-wide dark mode, it's always recommended to use such feature, especially when your phone is AMOLED based. If your phone supports a reading mode, try to use that and configure it for applications which are basically based for the reading purpose only. A good example is Wikipedia, or if you are using your Google Chrome for a lot of reading stuff. And try not to use the adaptive brightness feature of your phone. Sometimes it saves a lot of battery in case you're going outside and using adaptive brightness feature. And guys, at the last tip, do not forget to restart your phone, to take place all these settings in the effect and picture. So guys, these are the 20 plus so on tips that I'm using almost on all of my Android phones, and they give me a lot of better battery backup. Hope you guys did enjoyed it. Please let me down in the comment how much your SOT got increased. For me, when I applied all these things, I got at least 1 hour plus screen on time. So hope you guys did enjoyed it and find it helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon. Have a great day.